Today, they pushed us and they're going to force us to start pushing back. We voted for Trump. We voted for Trump because we needed a champion, not just a bull in a china shop, but someone who was going to go against everyone else and do what's best for the American people. Yes, the United States is a corporation. Yes, business interests have historically trumped the interests of the people, the interests of cities, our countries, our cultures, our families. Businesses came first. But because of that, you can be influenced with money from foreign nations and foreign people, and you can literally pay elected officials to vote against their own self interest, to vote against the interests of the people. We voted for Trump to course correct and to fix this issue. He finally has. We've seen billions in revenue from the tariffs. And now all of a sudden we hear that the Supreme Court itself, in a 6-3 vote, voted against the will of the people and in favor of foreign interests. That cannot be allowed. That will not stand. And this is Trump's response.
Effective immediately, all national security tariffs under Section 232 and existing Section 301 tariffs, they're existing, they're there, remain in place, fully in place, and in full force and effect. Today, I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122 over and above our normal tariffs already being charged. And we're also initiating several Section 301 and other investigations to protect our country from unfair trading practices of other countries and companies. It's almost like not.
What he was basically saying is that for a long time we have been getting ripped off. Countries have been charging us tariffs when we send our goods and our American made products over there, but we weren't charging them to come here. We have now figured out a way where it's equitable, but also where it would make more sense for factories to reopen and for us to produce here. We need every single job. We can't afford to outsource. We can't afford slave labor in another country to usurp the American people. We have 30 years of watching the Americans go to the unemployment line while factories and corporations open up and they exploit labor in other countries and then they import their goods here. We are long past that. The tariffs have been working for us, but now we're letting foreign interests influence the court. Trump's not going to have it. We're not going to stand for it. And we're going to show them what's the meaning of federal supremacy.
Written by smart people. The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing, and I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country. Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic. They're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long.
And this is why we voted for Trump. Trump is our champion. He understands. Yes, they see this ruling today. They are celebrating foreign interests, people in other countries who make money off of shorting the United States, people that live in the United States that bet against the United States and want to see us lose. I keep telling people, do you think Trump lost the 2020 election? He didn't. See, Trump got to go back to his civilian life. Yeah, he had those cases to worry about, but he still had his empire, still has his family. What did we get out of Biden and Harris? We got vaccines, we got abortions, we had a destroyed economy, we had inflation through the roof, we had people losing everything, a just literally eviscerated economy. And to think that people committed fraud and fraud tooth and nail just to get us in a situation where the country was on the brink of disaster. We have literally come back from that. We survived. barely. It wasn't Trump that lost in 2020. It was us. And right now, we could be going back down that path. But because we have a champion that's going to fight for us, we are going to figure out a way to get around the Supreme Court. And like he said, those that are celebrating our downfall, they won't have long to celebrate. Pushing us to show them what federal supremacy means. Listening to the court is optional. We have an army. The Supreme Court does not. The reason we listen to the court is because down the line, when they make other rulings, we're going to expect others to listen to them. But as far as what's best for the country, that's why we voted for Trump. He literally is the one setting the lead. We're following his direction. I didn't vote for Alito or anybody else to run the country. I voted for Trump. I've seen the results. In California, where I'm from, all my friends are back to work. The illegals are gone. The rents are collapsing. I've never seen the results in California, even with an idiotic, moronic, communist governor like Newsom. Against all odds, we are literally doing better in California than we were in generations. Sorry, I've been under the weather, so that's why I haven't been on. But now we're coming back, and the Supreme Court, a ruling like this today, could have potentially hurt us. If it was any other weak politician up here besides Trump, we'd be in trouble. But luckily, this is our champion.
I can assure you, this must have been done to protect those other countries, certainly not the United States of America, which they should be interested in protecting. But I am allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country. In other words, I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I can do.
That's a hell of a point. So you mean to tell me these exact same countries, we can bomb them, we can invade them, we can kidnap their presidents, we can literally put up an embargo and starve a country to death. Now, and I'm Cuban American, but I'm doing a video about what's going on in Cuba right now. I'll be honest, we chose communism. Communism comes with consequences, and we're feeling it. It comes with the territory. We got to make better decisions in Cuba. But we can do anything we want to on these countries, but you're telling us we can't charge them. So we can do a physical battle. We can go to war with them physically, but we can't do a trade war. So we can be ripped off. They can charge us whatever, but we can't charge them. That's the restriction they're putting on Trump. We're not going to stand for it. We're not having it. And it just doesn't make any sense. It's not logically consistent that we can destroy these countries physically, but in lieu of bombing them, we can't just put a tariff on them and charge them, but we can bomb them. How stupid is that? We're not barred from attacking these countries. We're only barred from putting a tariff on these countries. Tell me how that makes sense to anyone. It's not logically consistent. We are going to work around it. The same way Biden made all these promises about how he's going to get around the fact that vaccine mandates were illegal, forcing Americans to take a medical procedure to keep their job. Remember when the states were saying, yeah, if you get this overturned, we're going to just change the wording by like 2 or 3 words, and we're going to resubmit another request, and then that's another 30-day lockdown. Do you guys not remember how hard they fought to keep us in lockdown for nothing? For a virus that doesn't exist, but a vaccine that is killing everyone? Turn on the news. All your favorite celebrities are dying in their 30s and 40s out of these magical, crazy cancers and heart attacks. All of them got the shot first in California because, well, that's where they administered it. We were getting the shot in the November, December of 2020, 8-9 months before the rest of the country. Anybody that's in the industry traveling back and forth to California, they got it. They're cooked. They're done. But remember how they went around the law to get that done? Trump's doing the same thing now so that the country can make money. He's not even trying to euthanize you people. Everyone is literally fighting because they think that Trump's going to lose. They want Trump to lose. Again, it's not Trump that's losing. It's us. We are the people that are losing. We've been losing. This is one of the first times we've been ahead since 2019. Don't you remember the good years? Don't Your memory can't be that bad. Stop listening to these liberals. Go back and look at your bank account, look at your checking account, look at your results back in Trump's first presidency. He's literally making things better right now. But federal supremacy means we're going to have to show you that just by listening to you is optional for us. They're pushing us to the brink of literally showing them that we don't have to listen to anyone. We're going to do what it takes. And this is not going to be a negotiable anymore. Even humoring, listening to these other suggestions is more so just a courtesy. We do it to be polite. But if you're going to force us to show our hand and to be bullies, we will. The priority is going to be the country. It's America first, but it's America only. We're not going to be worried or swayed by the interests of these foreign investors, these countries that are antithetical to us, and people that short our economy and bet against us, but have the nerve to hold our citizenship. That's all going to have to change.
Anything I want, but I can't charge $1. We're going straight ahead with 10% straight across the board, which was the absolute right to do. And that's taking place. That's a lot of money coming into our country. And then during that period of about 5 months, we are doing the various investigations necessary to put fair tariffs or tariffs, period, on other countries. So we're doing that period, but we're immediately instituting the 10% provision, which we're allowed to do.
You mentioned multiple times foreign influence over the Supreme Court. Do you have evidence of that? And if not, will you investigate that?
You're going to find out.
So since Liberation Day, there's about $175 billion in tariff revenue that is now in limbo. Do you have to refund?
Very fair question. They take months and months to write an opinion, and they don't even discuss that point. We've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars, not millions, hundreds of billions of dollars. And so I said, well, what happens to all the money that we took in? It wasn't discussed.
So they can discuss that we can't take money in from other countries that want to exploit our finances and make money off of us, even when we should be making money off of them, right? You know, the reason why these countries seem to be doing so well is because when our factories were allowed to be closed here in the United States, and you were allowed as a business owner to open up factories in other countries where they're going to work for slave labor. You know, some of these countries, if you would have opened up in the Philippines or in Cambodia, you could have literally paid these people crumbs and fruit, and they would have worked for the dollars you would have paid Americans. They would have done it for fruit and crumbs. That's called slave labor. And for a country that pretends to be, oh, we hate slavery so much, yeah, you sure have no problem exploiting people. That's why when people keep complaining about deportation, I'm like, do you understand these are all illegals who are working for slave wages under the table? We're giving them mercy. This is freedom. And I'll be honest with you, if you think about slavery back in the 1800s, you think the blacks were just running off the plantations, doing cartwheels and dribbling basketballs instantly? No. They did not want to leave these situations because it was good for them. From the outside looking in, you might consider them slaves. But if you ask them, they're indentured servants who worked out deals with the landowner where they were able to stay there, housing's provided, food's provided, and instead, in exchange for them tending to the land. It's called being gainfully employed. But they didn't want to leave them the same way the illegals don't want to leave us now, and we're forcing them to because slavery is wrong. We don't want slave labor. We want Americans to actually go back to work, and it's happening. I'm watching it happen all over the country. Nobody's reporting on it. Even my ungrateful piece of shit Marxist communist friends are not getting on the internet every day praising Trump because they're back on the road. They're back in the warehouse. They're actually back working and doing business. They don't want to say thanks to Trump. I had people call me yesterday and say, wow, have you seen the rent prices out here? Everything's $800-900 cheaper in the last 2-3 months. What do you think's changed? The only thing that's different between a few months ago and today is ICE and Trump. We are going to do what's best for the country. For these justices to rule that we can't take this tariff money But these fucking morons don't even say, well, what are we going to do about the money that we already have? They didn't even come up with a decision because they're not the ones making a decision. Some of these justices are following orders. They are activist judges, just like these pink and purple haired gay ones that are literally freeing people faster than the police can arrest them. Activist judges are a huge problem in this country, and that's another issue we're going to have to deal with.
Wouldn't you think they would have put one sentence in there saying that keep the money or don't keep the money, right? I guess it has to get litigated for the next 2 years. It's almost like not written by smart people. And what they do, they don't even talk about that. Your question is very basic. That was the first question I asked also to make you feel good.
Are you saying that you don't plan to honor refunds for companies that file for them?
I just told you the answer, right? I told you the answer. It's not discussed. We'll end up being in court for the next 5 years.
We got to do something about these judges. Everybody, we got to do something about every single person that is living within our borders that think because of the First Amendment that means they can literally do whatever they can in their power to take down and destroy our country from within under the guise of free speech. Well, I have free speech, so I can say I hate the country. I can say I want to see this place burn. I can say we should give everything away. I could be able to say we should open up the borders. I should be able to say we should have all of our weapons destroyed and that there should be no laws and that everybody should be able to do anything they want to. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Where's the stability? Where's the consistency? Just because you have the First Amendment, now we have to listen and humor even people that hate us in our country, even if they have citizenship here. So we're supposed to listen to school shooters. We're supposed to listen to domestic terrorists and listen to their input on what we have to do to make things better. That's why I keep telling people the odds of a civil conflict are getting higher and higher. And it eventually has to get physical. The problem is everyone's too chicken shit to say, well, who's going to be against who? What are going to be the teams? Is it going to be jerseys versus skins? I mean, how are we going to be able to separate who's on what side? And I have these conversations and I keep telling people, you're going to notice there's a very consistent demographic of peoples who are always on the opposite side of the America First agenda. And they all look a certain way. For the most part, 90% of them. This is tricky territory right here. All the money, hundreds of billions when have you ever seen a president make money for the country? Trump has made hundreds of billions off of these tariffs. And now the Supreme Court haven't even ruled. They ruled that we can't take the tariffs anymore. Haven't ruled on what to do with the money we've already made. To think that a capitalist country's own court would rule against them making money, it's disgusting. It's one of the most anti-American things that I could have ever seen or guessed that could happen. It has to be America first. It has to be America only. I don't give a fuck about Thailand. I don't give a fuck about these other countries in other hemispheres. It's America first. America only. The rest of the world literally lives off of what happens here in our country. But don't forget, we're at war with the World Economic. They're coming after the Zionists, and the Zionists run our country. So that means get to the Zionists, you got to go through us. And they're breaking us down day by day. People don't understand. Whoa, how do you know? I'm like, they wrote about it years ago. You know, it's another thing about the World Economic Forum Agenda 2030. No pets. Is it just me, or have you not noticed a ramping up of the anti-dogs, anti-cat, anti-pet? You haven't noticed a anti-pet narrative being pushed? It was literally written years ago. I remember reading it like, how is any of this ever going to happen in America? And now I'm watching it literally happen in America. But you got to think about it. The weapon of the World Economic Forum is the Islamic and Muslims community. That's they control them. They control the Middle East and Northern Africa. And the way they move their influence and they're able to take over places is by invading them. They get your countries to change their immigration laws, and then they flood the third world that they control into your nations, and they can push their agenda through the people because they have the numbers and they have the men. They're not confused men, not gay men. They're not, small, weak men. They're actually strong men. And when what they say is going to go when it comes down to, well, the fact that these women over here in the West don't have husbands, there's no one to defend them. So you're a defenseless person because you assume that there will be security in society, a false sense of security. It was so false that you said you don't need men at all. And now you got a man kicking your ass and kicking your dog, and you're screaming, why is there no one to help me? I don't know. Why aren't you married? We're watching this degradation happen in real time. Again, it wasn't Trump that lost these elections. It's not Trump that just lost this battle with the Supreme Court. It's us. This isn't Trump's bank account. It's not Trump doesn't have a Wells Fargo account or a Bank of America account where all the hundreds of billions in tariffs is going into. This is for the country. This is for the people. This is our money. We're the only ones losing. It's not Trump. Trump doesn't even have to be bothered with all this. He could have just went back into the private sector and saved himself, but he's over here working for us. I can't believe this. This is ridiculous.
I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I'm even allowed to impose a foreign country destroying embargo. I can embargo. I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1. Because that's not what it says. And that's not the way it even reads. I can do anything I want to do to them, but I can't charge any money. So I'm allowed to destroy the country, but I can't charge them a little fee. I could give them a little 2-cent fee, but I cannot charge under any circumstances. I cannot charge them anything. Think of that. How ridiculous is that? I'm allowed to embargo them. I'm allowed to tell them you can't do business in the United States anymore.
So basically, he can destroy a country, but he can't put a tariff on them. That is so fucking ridiculous and nonsensical. But it just shows you that there's no logical consistency. So this isn't about following the law. This isn't about the Constitution. This is about individuals that are working for the interest of foreign interests. They're not working for American interests. So now you can see. So what side are you on? Are you on the side of America, where we should be able to tax people who want to do business here and sell products here? Or you rather see these other countries make money and we lose money? Whatever countries you want to see make money over the United States, go live there. I hate that these people who hate us and vote against us are still here. We have to get rid of them. We have to get rid of them. We can't keep on like this. Doesn't make any sense. Like and subscribe, share the video. I'll be back on with another topic in about 20 minutes. America first, America only.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.